Scott Walker has left us, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't passed away, but he's no longer one of 16 or 17 Republican candidates. We are down to just 15. Now, if I was a Republican voter, which I'm not, but if I were, I'd be concerned because even out of these 15, I don't think there's anyone in there capable of being president. Here is Scott Walker announcing why he is dropping out. Now, there's a subtext to this, and I think you can hear it. It's the Koch brothers told me to drop out. But let's let Scott Walker explain.
To refocus the debate on these types of issues will require leadership. While I was sitting in church yesterday, the pastor's words reminded me that the Bible is full of stories about people who were called to be leaders in unusual ways. Today, I believe that I'm being called to lead by helping to clear the field in this race so that a positive, conservative message can rise to the top of the field. With this in mind, I will suspend my campaign immediately. I encourage other Republican presidential candidates to consider doing the same so that the voters can focus on a limited number of candidates who can offer a positive, conservative alternative to the current frontrunner. This is fundamentally important to the future of the party and, more importantly, to the future of our country.
So there you have it. Scott Walker, as you can see, there was a really just an outpouring of grief when he announced that he was dropping out in the form of a couple of people clapping. But here is the first reason. Scott Walker dropping out probably took a chain of events to take place. Here is the first one. It is an audio representation of what he got in the last CNN poll following the debate. Here it is. I give you Dean Wormer from Animal House.
0.0. 0.0.
There you have it. That is what Scott Walker got in the last CNN poll. Back in June of 2015, Scott Walker got 6%. Then in July of 2015, he got 10%. Things are really on the move. Then in August, as people really started to get to know him, 8%. Well, at least in September, when he was really coming out of his shell, 5%. And then September 17th, 2015, in a poll taken over the course of 2 days, he got
0.0.
0.0. So Scott Walker faced with 0.0. We're also at a time like, look, you're watching the ascendance of Donald Trump. Maybe he lost a point or two in the last CNN poll, but I don't think that's. I think that's a consistent with his sort of fluctuations over the past couple of months. You're watching Carly Fiorina rise to the top. Ben Carson still at the top. George Bush mired in single digits. None of the other so-called establishment candidates can seem to get out of the sort of the basement. Marco Rubio has a little bit of a bump, but I don't think he's going anywhere. If you were a billionaire Republican donor, or even a millionaire Republican donor, or 100,000-aire Republican donor, who would you give money to at this point? If you were looking for an establishment candidate, who would you give money to at this point? The answer is, the way that you would hedge your bet is you would give money to no one right now. You would wait for some inkling of success, some inkling of potential to give money to those candidates. And as Scott Walker's polling numbers dropped, they just stopped giving him money. And he had a very expensive campaign, and he was at 0.0.
0.0. 0.0.
Yes. He was on double secret probation for being a loser and wasn't even aware of it. And apparently the Koch brothers basically said, look, get out. You're not going anywhere. And, frankly, it's smart because I guarantee you, when 8 other candidates drop out, bringing us down to only 7 or 8 candidates in the Republican race, we won't even remember that Scott Walker was a candidate. We will forget. So if you know that you're going down, you might as well do it now. Because people are going to forget that he got so easily wiped. He's just protecting his brand for a future that I'm pretty sure he's not going to have.
Can I just talk like Donald Trump for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I prefer my Reagan worshippers to actually win.
Yes.
Ronald Reagan won, I hate to tell you. I prefer leaders that actually win and lead.
Then actually... Well, this is the other interesting part about Scott Walker's announcement. He is announcing that he is a genuine leader for stepping aside. Well, a reminder, his theory is that by stepping aside, my support can go to other establishment candidates to take out the danger that is represented to the Republican Party by Donald Trump. The problem with that theory is his support is
0.0.
And so if you take some portion of his 0.0 and you give it to the other so-called establishment candidates, it helps them exactly 0.0. In fact, a fraction of 0.0.